I was an outdoorsy child, and I still love the outdoors. And every step I took outside my front door was a new adventure and a new way for me to express myself. Along with this, I had the most incredible support group. And by support group, I don't mean therapy supports. I mean my wonderful friends, family, and leaders that were in sports clubs and youth clubs all around my county. Anytime I had a difficult situation coming up, I could go to them for advice, and I knew anytime I could fall back on them and they would be there for me. Along with this, I had my room. Now, while many people think it's quite superficial and materialistic to mention my room, many people don't have that opportunity. Many people may be homeless, or many people may not have the ability to say their room is their own and not just the place they sleep. I was fortunate enough to have this, and I was able to design and express myself in my room that I couldn't anywhere else. Just before the pandemic hit, many people were stuck in single-bedroom apartments, wondering how they were going to go forward. They used their place of sleeping and eating as simply just that, and not a home. So, for many people, they looked upon my situation as ideal. They saw the wonderful surroundings, they saw the support group, they saw the room. Now, many people saw that as ideal, but inside, I don't think it could have been worse. See, a month before the pandemic hit, I was diagnosed with depression. I already have anxiety, and when I was in the hospital thinking about how I was going to go forward and the doctors telling me about medication plans, I was thinking about how I was being thrown into a world with no direction. I strive off schedules, routine, and consistency, and the pandemic did everything but that. Every day was a new adventure, and while that may be contrasted with my surroundings, it was something that I couldn't have wished didn't happen. I was going through a lot mentally, and the pandemic threw a spanner in the works. I had now decided that I wanted to be a different person. I felt that if I were to bring something to this new time, I needed to bring a new version of me. I wanted to be more confident, more responsible, and more mature, even though I was just a teenager growing up. These are thoughts that a teenager, especially 14 and 15, shouldn't be thinking. They should be thinking about how they're going to spend time with their friends, how they're going to enjoy every moment, and how they're going to bring their childlike sense of fun to their everyday life. But I was stuck in my room thinking about only that. Like many others in the pandemic, I took to social media as my one-stop shop for all forms content. Every bit of media I consumed was through social media, and it's not only had a negative impact on my attention span, but also on my mind. I saw everyone posting their content on social media, and it seemed as if they were living perfect lives. I looked upon them and I saw mature, confident, and responsible people, and if they did have struggles with their mental health, I looked on it as a very romanticized way of seeing it. I saw so many people going through struggles, but the day later, they were smiling again. I didn't know how to feel. I was so confused, and there was no light at the end of the tunnel for me. I'd gone through so many different things in life up to that point, whether it be in regards to mental health, my physical health, or just in situations I've been put in, but everything there had happened for a reason. And the pandemic was no different. The pandemic happened as almost a way for me to look at myself. As a byproduct of this social media construct, I had given myself a new personality. I had trimmed off the fat of my old personality and took only the best bits on. I was now a person who was only confident, only responsible, only humble. And on the other side was the person who had suicidal thoughts, anxiety breakdowns, and mental troubles every single day. Who was I? I spent many nights sleepless thinking to myself, as if it was yin and yang, darkness and light, going against each other 24/7. Fluid motions all around my mind that I couldn't express, and I didn't want to. I wanted to keep it all to myself because I felt there was no outlet for me. I felt that no one would be in the same situation as me. But there's always a happy story in every part. Thankfully, during the pandemic, like many others, I rediscovered and I made new hobbies. I discovered that music was a thing that was so important to me and so vital. I looked back on the artists I'd listened to, playlists I've created, and songs that I adored. And I decided that, yes, this is what I want to be interested in. I started seeing music in a new, different eye. I took the critical mindset that I had and I brought it to my new situations. Every new piece of music I listened to was dissected, analyzed, and critiqued in a way that could only benefit me. I was able to express who I was in a healthy way and build on my personality and create a new pillar through music. I was able to express not only the good parts of my life in celebratory, uplifting songs, but also the bad parts where people were more reserved and more not willing to express anything. This was the helping hand at the end of the tunnel I was looking for. I realized that it was yin and yang in my mind at a time when I listened to one song, one lyric, 7 words. Always smiled, but was he happy inside? Always smiled, but was he happy inside? Always smiled, but was he happy inside? That is what I thought to myself over and over again after hearing that. Now, many people may interpret that as a metaphor, a cliche one, for my depression. And yes, you would be spot on. But as well, it made me look in a different light on the personality that I had. In fact, it made me look on the 2 of them. I'd realized that there was actually 2 bridges that were being built. There was still lightness and dark, and darkness and light, and the yin-yang symbol had finally came to me. And so, I started conforming them. I started bringing them both together in a way that now I'm more happy. I decided that I was going to be more confident, but also more open and more vulnerable. I was going to be more humble, but also celebrate my wins more. I was going to be more happy, but also more sad. I was able to have both sides of the same coin. And thankfully, it was music that helped me realize this. And now, that brings us to where I'm standing today. Where I'm standing today is a ground that my 2 feet are cemented on, and here I am able to tell you with absolute certainty, I'm not the happiest, nor am I the saddest. I'm not the most confident, nor am I the most fragile or vulnerable. I'm simply me, and that is something I'm not unapologetic about. I am able to express myself fully and stand up here and tell that I am me, and no matter what I bring, is me and is the true me. And in a world where some level of fake, whether it be on social media or buffing yourself up in another way, is more prevalent than ever, bringing some level of truth to my everyday life has brought me so much more peace inwards than I could have ever imagined. Thank you.